Hello, my name is Valentina Fogelsang, and today I'm going to talk about the globalization in Switzerland. Switzerland is one small country with about 2 million people. It's divided in three parts, that is the German one, the French one, and the Italian one. Switzerland is a country that is well known because of their good economy. In this moment, Switzerland is one of the strongest countries with a positive globalization. Because of this, Switzerland has opened new programs and new economic systems so other companies can come into their country. Switzerland has always had a political system that is basically they don't have a president, but they have 7 councillors, but there's one that is more important than the others, but he doesn't take any decisions without the others. I have to mention too that Switzerland is a democratic country. Switzerland live basically for the farms, like the cheese, the chocolate, also because of their pharmaceutics and the watch industry. This country has something in particular, and is that it's one of the countries where they have like a socialist economy inside of them, but they also have a free market. This means that all the Swiss people basically buy things from local markets like Migros, Coop, and others, but they don't close their market to other companies, for example, like Aldi, that is like a Walmart, but from Germany, and IKEA, that is like a Home Depot, but from Sweden. There's another factor that is really important when we talk about globalization in Switzerland, and is the technology. Switzerland has one of the best technologies when we're talking about pharmaceutics. They even beat Germany, and Germany is one of the best ones, but Switzerland has lately increased that with new technology and new machines. Second of all, Switzerland is also implementing something that is called the financial technology. It's a new way of doing business by through internet and things like that. Many people thought that that was going to be bad for the country, but actually they have already made profits, really good ones, about like 17 millions of francs Swiss. The other thing is that they thought that the banks were going to be afraid of this new technology, but actually the bank is telling the people that is implementing this if they want to be partners to do business for the future. Switzerland is a country that supports their farmers, so they have never had problems with that. Another factor that is really important is the environment. Switzerland is one of the what we call today green countries. They recycle at least the 50% of their waste. This is something really good because that means that Switzerland is a really sustainable country. When you see the globalization, this is a really important factor because globalization is trying to gain the best of other countries without harming the environment. But the countries and the companies are the ones who decide this. How has Switzerland achieved this? First of all, they have a really strict policy with recycle. For example, they have white trash bags that are for paper and carton, and they have the black ones that are for organics. And if a company does not follow this law, they're going to have a really big fine. Also, Switzerland implements something that is like, if you recycle, they will give you money. So this is a motivation for people to not waste plastics bottles, for example. You can go to supermarkets and there's machines where you can put bottles of plastic and they will give you money back so you can buy stuff in that supermarket. So how this how this is good for companies and for farmers and for the people. Well, for the farmers it's really good because by not having contamination or pollution because of cars, or because of big companies, it's going to make that first the cows and the chicken and the pork and like the animals that they eat there are not going to be eating stuff that are going to be with where they're going to be contaminated. So this means that they have a healthier lifestyle. Second of all, the companies will find new ways of sustainability, and that will make that the companies change their strategic plan and increase their profits in another way. So, for example, they can recycle old machines, they can take the old parts and put it in new ones, so they won't go that to waste. Other factor is of course, the offshoring of Switzerland. Many people say that Switzerland is a fiscal paradise. That means that they don't like call big banks from other parts of the world that goes to invest in Switzerland. They basically don't pay like really high from other parts of the world that goes to invest in Switzerland. They basically don't pay like really high taxes. So this is really good because a lot of people want to invest in this country. Many people say it's wrong because they can steal, but it's not like that. They have really strict policies with that they make very clear at the moment that people are going to invest. And other important thing is that Switzerland, it's in a point like if you see where Switzerland is, they share frontiers with Germany, with France, with Italy, with Austria. That is really good at the time of doing business and commerce because they have a lot of ways to come in. For example, they have Air Force that is only for commerce, with also with trains. They actually have one of the biggest companies of trains, of commerce trains, like Germany. So this helps a lot when we talk about globalization and how the companies can develop in this country. And lastly, some of the issues that, for example, international managers can have are that maybe if they do not know the country well enough and their culture and their religion and how they handle things in that country, that can be bad for them because they're going to struggle on how to make business.
Hello, my name is Janisha Red, and I'm going to be talking on the second part on the project that we're doing over Switzerland. The company that we chose to talk about is IKEA. So when IKEA came to Switzerland, which it actually was, the person who was ahead of it was already from Switzerland, so it kind of made it easier for them to kind of move into Switzerland. But the first thing that they had to do was understand the language and the culture. So in Switzerland, they speak Portuguese, English, Albania, and even more. So there was a lot of things that they had to do, and one of those was being able to speak all these languages. A second thing was knowing the sports. So like in America, one of the biggest sports, a couple of the biggest sports will be basketball, football, American football, hockey, kind of things like that. But in Switzerland, it's kind of different. Soccer is actually, well, they call it football there. Soccer is one of the biggest sports there that are actually played there, as well as volleyball, handball. They do have an ice game. It's not like hockey, but kind of similar to hockey. Another thing that IKEA had to do was be different with the food. You can't sell hamburgers, french fries, chips, things like you would sell in America that you would sell over there. So what they had to do was they had to kind of adapt to what was going on in Switzerland. Like they eat fondue. They really do like a lot of cheese. They love hot dogs and kind of things like that. A lot of cheese is involved in their food, and big proteins. Another thing that IKEA had to be able to adapt with is the political views. It's different in Switzerland because in Switzerland, the people have a lot of say in what goes on. Even though 2 out of 5 people only cast their votes, the people still have a big say in what goes on. This takes a lot longer for Switzerland to pass laws, but IKEA has to be very acknowledgeable to what's going on because every year this happens. Every year the people have a say on, okay, do we like this? Do we not? Do we need to change a law? Do we need to keep this law? So that's why IKEA needed to also be a little bit more, because this happened a lot. IKEA didn't want to pay taxes there. Another thing that they do, IKEA does, is their economics. The economic environment. IKEA does a very good job of where they get their wood from, how they replace all the trees that are being lost, even though that has to be done, but IKEA does an exceptional job with doing that. They also have a low energy light bulb that they use in all of their products and all of their facilities. So from a Christian view, if I were to be dealing with talking with IKEA, I would make sure, and you can tell that they've made sure to respect the culture that is there because they are majority Catholic, and be able to just see all these changes and not judge. So from a Christian view, you cannot judge somebody because they view things differently. And my name is Jamisha Red. Hope you like this presentation and have a good day.